Hello again and welcome to Woosha Wisdom, in which we look at counseling related issues. We've been looking at our negative emotions and how we can use those to bring change and growth within ourselves. And the principle that we've been talking about is that behind those negative emotions like anger and anxiety and depression, there's an unconscious goal that derives from a need. And we've talked about the fact that we get angry when the goal is blocked. We get anxious when the goal is uncertain. And today I want to talk about depression. And what we say is that when we get depressed, that goal is unreachable. We've come to the place in our minds where we have despaired of ever attaining that goal. And so, for example, maybe in your marriage you've longed for a loving marriage, you've longed to be loved or valued, and maybe there have been times when you get angry when that goal has been blocked, or anxious when you're not sure that it's going to happen, but now you've just despaired of ever having that love or getting appreciated or valued within the marriage, and so you despair of it and it leads to depression. Or maybe it's a child that has gone wayward and is doing things that are destructive, and you can see the pain that lies ahead and you worry about the child. But there comes a time when you just think, this is hopeless. I just cannot get this child to do or should do. And so we despair. That goal becomes unreachable. Or maybe it's in business and you have been hoping for a certain position. You've been hoping that for some promotion and recognition, and you've longed for it and worked for it, and there comes a point where in your mind you just despair of ever achieving it, and so it leads to depression. And another example, of course, is living in Zimbabwe, and maybe wherever you live as well, it's similar, but we've longed for a just society. We've longed for a government that would put policies in place that would stimulate the economy instead of killing it. And as we've longed for it and been disappointed, very often we've come to the point where we say, this is hopeless, and we despair of ever achieving that goal. So these are all everyday circumstances that we experience. And so what's the problem with having those goals? To be loved, or for security, or for a good future. And the problem is that very often those goals come out of legitimate needs, but we've made a goal of trying to meet those needs in other people or in circumstances over which we have no control. And so just like we talked about with anger and with anxiety, so depression, we need to let go of that goal and turn it into a desire. I would like this to happen. I would want this to happen. Can try and influence it to happen, but to know that it is not in my control, and I need to let go of the demand that that person or that government or that situation comes right to give me what I need. And so what do we do about this? I think the first thing is to acknowledge the depression, not to hide it, not to ignore it, not to minimize it, to acknowledge the extent of it, and not to be overwhelmed by it either, but rather to find ways of expressing it, to acknowledge it and express it, whether that's expressing it to another person, expressing it to the Lord in prayer, expressing it in writing, all ways of getting that deep pain off our chest, just to find a way of expressing it. But then understanding what the goal is behind that depression. What's the thing I've despaired of getting? What's the unreachable goal here? Should it be a goal? And how can I turn that into a desire? And then more than that, to take that disappointment, to take that pain, to take that despair, to take that hopelessness to the Lord. You know, Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted, and we take our pain to him and say, Lord, I can't get the love that I need in my marriage, but I'm coming to you for that love. And Lord, I can't get that security in my job, but I'm coming to you that you'll look after me in the future. And I can't change the government, and I can't change the future, that in ways that will make me secure. But Lord, I can come to you and know that my future and my security is in your hands. And because you love me, and because I'm precious in your eyes, I know I can have a peace that you promised, irrespective of the circumstance. And so acknowledge the emotion, express it. Then what's the goal behind it? Should it be a goal? Change that into a desire. What's the need that is driving that goal? And go to the Lord with that need and get from Him what people and circumstance and government and situations cannot give you. I hope that's helpful. We'll see you next time.